The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back on The Local Show. That means you're along for the ride as well, because you're listening either on your device or you're seeing us on YouTube, or you might be on a traditional radio, right?
Traditional radio.
Well, as traditional as they get, right?
What was your first radio, Tom?
My first radio, I don't know. I had a 67 Plymouth Fury. So
that's one heck of a radio. You had the little transistor radio, didn't you? With the wheel on the side.
Yeah. Well, I had a crystal radio. I used to build crystal radio.
Well, that was when you were a Radio Shack guy.
Elementary school. That was elementary school, yeah. And we had a fence. I was a crossing guard, and I had to be at this area that had a big, long chain link fence to somebody's backyard.
Okay.
So I used to take the antenna and put it on the fence, and I could pick up Radio Free Europe. It was pretty cool.
I had a shortwave. I've mentioned before. I had in the second floor and a piece of speaker wire hooked to the back, and I would throw it out the window on the side. So it was like 20 foot away. That was at night, so I could pick up. South Africa came in really clear, and it'd pick up different things.
You think we'd be more cultured with all the faraway places?
My little transistor radio with the 9-volt battery, and it was like red. It was always like a funky color. And you had one plug to put in your ear.
Yep.
And as a kid, you'd pull it out, and there was always a little extra on the ear plug. Anyway, next topic. Let's not be gross.
Speaking of technology, we have Kevin Nichols with us. He's the Vice President of Nichols Energy Solutions. How are you there, Kevin?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me again.
Well, thank you for being here. If I do recall, you're in business with your brother?
Yep. He's our president.
So together you're double nickels.
True. I have heard that before. I also heard two nickels make a dime.
Yeah, that's it. Good. So what is it that you guys do exactly?
We're mainly a residentially focused solar company. We install solar panels on homes.
Okay. So you're not making big solar farms?
No, we're not. That's not our approach at all. We want to offset demand where it is, and we recognize that the roof of the house gets a lot of sunlight in most places, unless there's a lot of shade nearby. So we want to focus on roof-mounted solar projects.
Even in Syracuse, we get a lot of sunny days during the winter. It's blinding. You have to wear your sunglasses. So I would imagine if you have a solar panel on the house, you're doing good.
Yeah, in the winter, we kind of look at that as we'll take what we can get.
Yeah, right.
In the spring, summer, and fall, we do have awesome production. The cooler days are great for solar production. Warmer temperatures aren't always a good thing as it relates to solar performance. So it's good to have like a 70-degree day and have the sun out. That's great.
So you got February and it's cloudy and it's dark and people say, "Oh, look at that idiot! He's got solar panels." He's really not an idiot. He's just not really running the bank on that day. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. And speaking of the bank, when you overproduce solar on a nice day in typically like the spring, summer, or fall, you bank energy credits. And so in February, you may not be paying for electricity because of overproduction in May. This is a concept called net metering, and not all states have this. It's one of the reasons why solar is such a good thing for New Yorkers, is because the utilities, National Grid, NYSEG, RG&E, they've agreed to this. And they say, give us your excess power in real time, and at a later date, February, you'll be able to use some power that you are not paying for.
So I'm not going dark. That's really interesting.
Yes, it is a grid-tied system. We interconnect in most cases right in the main electric panel, taking up a breaker space in the main electric panel. So nighttime power is always utility power.
I gotcha. How long have you been doing this? How long has the business been around?
Somehow we're coming up on year 10. Next year will be year 10. Yeah, it's amazing. We started in 2015 in terms of the LLC and getting our first project installed. I look at 2016 as our first year in business in terms of me being full-time as well. But Steve in the background, and certainly 2014 and 2015 was laying the foundation for the company. And in a lot of ways, he kind of predicted what would happen.
How have things changed technology-wise from 10 years ago? Have things become more miniature?
They're not really getting smaller in size. Aesthetically, the all-black solar panel was kind of made for the residential market. So them being all black, make them a little bit nicer up on the roof. And then the solar shingles, which was just kind of coming out. The last time I was here like a year and a half ago, it was pretty new for us in the market in general, but we've done more and more sales with it. And if you need a new roof, that's an option, and it's a nailable solar shingle.
So who knows? I mean, who can qualify? Who could prosper from solar panels on the roof? And who do you go, you know what? Thanks for calling. It ain't going to work. I mean, like, how does anybody know? And then, okay, how do I pay for this? And how long does it take to pay for it? Am I just being nice, or am I actually making money?
Yeah, a lot of opportunities to save money over time. The most common mechanism for how people pay it are using local loans. I like to use local credit unions and local banks for these loans. A lot of people have home equity line of credit as well. Of course, if you could pay for it out of pocket, that's great too. In other states, leases have become a popular way for people to go solar. That's not our style at all.
Not your model.
Not our model. In the lease example, the tax credits go to the solar installer. We want the tax credits to go to the homeowner. So that's really what's best for us and them. And we have some great local credit unions that have solar specific loans that help you pay for the system in a 5-year or 10-year period if that's what you want to do.
Is the government still in that business? Because it felt like they were in it.
Yeah.
And maybe it would have, they kind of held it up for a while. Is what it felt like. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, that's fair to say. Like any other form of energy production, name a form of energy. There's
burning wood.
There's subsidies involved in everything except for you and your axe. You and your axe that's your sweat equity. But natural gas subsidies, yes, there's subsidies in all forms of energy exploration and generation. So solar is no different. On the New York State side of things, they used to take like $3,000 to $5,000 off the top. That's a subsidy. Now that's like $1,000 per project. So New York State's tapered it down, but the main incentives are tax credits. And a tax credit is totally different than a subsidy. This is just basically saying in the year that you go solar, you pay less in taxes. You spent your money on something that is good for the environment, good for the local economy, good for your wallet. We're going to allow you to give us less tax dollars this year. That sounds good to me.
Do you compete with the people who go to a solar farm?
So great question. I really don't look at that as competition, and I recommend people go for community solar if they end up not signing a deal to go solar with rooftop panels. Mm-hmm. That's a great way. You can save 10% on your electric bill, no investment. Renters can sign up for community solar. So people who I can't do business with have an opportunity to save with that. And people approach me with community solar on the bill saying, I signed up for community solar a year or two ago. I want to see if I could save more. What would it be to have solar on rooftop? Yeah. So I sometimes transition people away from that.
So how do you know what the ROI is? For example, I own a home and it's going to cost me $25,000. I made that up. I don't know how much it costs.
That's fair.
And they do it. How do I know that I'm going to save money? How do I project? Or am I doing it because I'm trying to have clean energy? Or am I doing it to save money?
We make the financial analysis very clear, and you reach out for a free estimate. We do come on site. We put a tool on the roof that gives us an estimate of system performance, and we tell you that these 20 solar panels will save you $1,200 per year.
So I just do the math. Okay, if my bill was this, I subtract this, and if I can credit this, and an average year, whatever that is, there's so many kilowatt hours or whatever the heck it is that's measured. I got lucky. That goes into the queue. So it's just math, really.
Yes. Yep. And it's very predictable because we physically are on your roof with a product. So your estimate is going to look different than your neighbor's, and everybody's house is different because of positioning.
But am I wrong? Or, hey, time to sell the house. What? You got panels? That's got to add a lot of value to the house.
It does if it's an owned project. Unlike the leases, people in real estate can tell you that can get complicated. Yeah. Another reason why ownership is so great.
Do you have a solution for people who don't want solar panels on their roof?
You can do a ground mount. It's not my favorite style of it, but I will always take a look at it and see if that's something we can help you out with.
Okay, so I'm going to say free estimates. Is that true?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So nicholsenergysolutions.com. They can call and say, hey, maybe it's worth it, maybe it's not, but you'll let us know.
Yes.
481-7412. That's in the big area code 315, Tom. They can call 481-7412. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thanks for having me.